So I fucked up. Forgot to hit one. Do it again. Ready. Thanks for listening to Untitled Car Project. SEMA 2024.
With video.
Day 1 review. Take 2.
With video.
With video. Okay, well, we did have a little snafu. We'll let you in on that somebody, forgot to hit play, hit record. So now it's recording. Verified, everyone? See the red button?
I see it. I
Awesome.
see the red light.
All right.
I see the red light. Do you see red light?
See it.
I do.
There we go.
I do. All right. We'll just back up. So first thing this morning, Grant got us out of bed at 6 a.m.
Introduction.
That was fun.
Introductions.
Intro.
That's Grant. Oh,
Hi.
all right. I'm Rob Spring. We got
Jeremy Molt.
Ian Fike.
Grant Gonzalez.
joined by...
It's the Chad,
It's
the
the
C10
Chad.
truck nerd.
Yay! Thanks for being here, Chad. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the invite again.
You bet. Again.
I meant from last time, not like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, yes. It's been good hanging out with the Chad. So.
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing. Since we're not in your studio, no, I'm in Vegas with him, and we're
Yep.
sitting in Caesar's Palace in probably the sweetest room I've ever been in.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yep. Agreed. Best hotel room I've ever stayed in.
Right.
100%.
Yep.
So I got to ask this again.
Okay.
Never asked this.
Okay.
What was your impressions of us actually in person?
Oh, so
Did we live up to the hype?
I would say 3 of the 4 I was pretty spot on with, but there's one guy in the group that I was like, holy hell, this is the Energizer Bunny on heroin or crack. Or both.
Really the hyper?
Or both.
Yeah.
That checks out. That's our Grant, in case anybody was wondering.
Yeah, he's on next level. The last day or 2, just the excitement level is turned past 10. Yeah.
What's nuts is you guys have only seen me when I am literally tired on a few hours of sleep.
I think that makes it worse.
Yeah,
I honestly
I live that way.
Yeah.
It's pure. I'm hyped when
Yeah.
I'm tired, and that's all.
It's the only way you can keep moving. Yeah. Well, yeah, first thing this morning, Grant gets us up. Like, Ian and I are crashed out. It's dark. Grant comes knocking on the door at 6 a.m.
Oh, I didn't-
6:00.
I ain't knock on any door. I'll open it up because it's already black.
Okay.
I'm like, I missed them. They left. Oh, God. I got to get going. What's going on? You guys here?
Yeah.
Ian?
Yeah.
Rob?
We're like, what the hell, dude?
And I'm like, okay. Thank gosh.
Yeah. Well,
That's not what I was thinking.
no,
No?
probably not.
No,
If,
not really.
if you'd have had something, you'd have thrown it at him.
I would've.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
I absolutely would have. It was, oh, yeah.
But we rallied up
did.
we were out the door by 6:35.
Yeah.
Headed for coffee. So
I got to say, you can definitely tell. In fact, we'll have this on our bonus footage because we used the GoPros this morning,
we did.
and we had the best
and then nothing
reactions.
after that. It kind of fell
Oh,
off
my
on
God.
that. Yeah.
Because Ian hasn't been around, quote unquote, Grand Hannah when I have a camera in front of me, and I remember us doing the introduction video to that, and
yeah.
was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Were you?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Anyway, so yeah, we rallied. We made our way to the convention center. We had the SEMA opening breakfast this morning, which turned out to be quite epic. Surprised how good that was. The food was good. There was a shit ton of people there, like
Oh, it was
thousands
ridiculous.
of people. Didn't expect that.
No. I thought there was only going to be maybe 150 people there, and the fact we opened the room and it's just thousands of people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the music blaring.
The music blaring.
They're like, well, this is going to be a continental breakfast,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this is like a rave.
Yeah.
And then the food felt like a wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Table service.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Not only breakfast burrito that was fully stuffed and ready to go but sauce on it, and then the garnish.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
They're saying a croissant with butter.
Right. No, that was super good. And, like Ian said before, like the award ceremony was great. It was really
good.
cool.
I love the speeches.
Yeah.
I loved everybody's piece that they said. You could feel it in the room. I mean, they asked how many people there were for the first time, and there was a lot. I'm
There
talking
was.
a third of the room was there for the first time.
And that was cool because because they asked it and people raised their hands, and that's when I feel like conversation between tables and people socializing really started beginning.
Yep.
And you had veterans being like, "Oh, you're new here? You're new here?
Yeah,
Let
where
me
you
tell
from?
you, you gotta go check this out. This is the coolest thing. This and this you do, and blah blah blah."
It was cool.
It was good. Yeah, a lot of good conversation, meeting new people and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then we got treated to, what's his name? Tavares?
Oh, Tavares. Freddie Tavares.
What's his first name?
Freddie Tavares.
Freddie. Okay.
Yes.
So Freddie Tavares and Jay Leno on stage talking about cars and their histories a little bit and that kind of
yeah.
stuff.
And that was
And that
cool.
was really cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool to be able to kind of get a background. And, Jay seemed really relaxed. And that's not what we get from him on TV,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It was a different personal experience, right?
It
Yeah.
was.
It's kind of cool.
It was him being in his element, like just
Yeah. Surrounded by car guys and just relaxed.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of neat. And I'm going to let Grant take us through the after the show, after the
After the
breakfast.
After the breakfast.
we go out into
We
the
all
main
leave.
hall.
Everyone's just piling in, run to the bathrooms, blah, blah, blah. And we're just like, what do we do? And randomly on the side of my Tavares just walking around.
Yep.
And I'm like, is that? Excuse me, I got to go check with someone. Are you free? Yes. Can we have pictures? Started busting out the Polaroids, taking things. He's like, wow. It was really cool seeing them and meeting them,
It was. He
Yeah.
seemed pretty genuine,
Yeah, it
and
was.
he was just like hanging out and taking pictures with everybody, and I thought that was pretty neat. I mean,
He did answer
regular guy.
He did answer the one question that has been burning on my mind.
Yep.
Freddie had, for the longest time, a Countach kit car. He got his roughly about the same time I got mine. Hasn't been posting about it at all for about a year or two. And I'm like, Freddie, he goes, yeah, I got one question for you. Whatever happened to that Countach kit car? He goes, oh, we hucked that thing of junk. And I'm like, that was the one thing I said. I got mine right as you got yours. I was hoping I was going to start posting videos. Hey, we go back for the content. And he's like, yeah, I got rid of that thing.
Yeah.
So,
He moved on to bigger. and
Maybe
better.
that's a sign, Grant.
yeah.
But
But
just a little bit of a sign.
yeah, it was kind of cool. Though. Also, that he
not
gave us
that
a
we didn't
shout
tell
out on
him that
Instagram,
already.
though.
He did.
That was boss.
Yeah.
You
like right away too.
Yeah.
I was
He
amazed.
posted us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
Yeah.
Pretty darn cool. So, yeah, from there, just head into the halls and
Early.
try to take it in.
We got there before anyone else.
We got the media express pass.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, yes, please
So
come on
dope.
in. Yeah, it I don't know, made us feel pretty special. It was kind of cool. Everybody else waiting out in the hall. Good to
Right.
go in, get a little sneak peek before it fills up. So that was pretty neat. Enjoyed it.
It was.
First timers experience,
Yeah,
Yeah.
first timers, we're walking past everybody, and once we went into the hot rod hall or Central,
Central Hall. Yeah,
kind of all lit up for me because it was just insane.
yeah, agreed. It was just kid in a candy store. I mean, and overwhelmed too. Just
Yeah.
to look across, you can't even
To
see
say
the
the
other
least,
side of the
overwhelmed.
hall. Yeah, so
Yeah, we started in the north. That was closest to where the breakfast was, and we got in there and we spent
Yeah.
about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And we're like, we got to get to Hot Rod Alley. We got to
get
get to where we belong. So it was like, we're here before everybody else. We get a 30-minute head start. Let's run. So
Yeah.
Go.
we bolted and
Kinda booked
we got in there and I never left. So
Yeah,
yeah, well, yeah, pretty much all of us stayed there all day long.
yeah.
I think we were there total for 10 hours. And I think within that room, we only got we even got 75% of the way through one hall.
Yeah.
yeah,
We got stories.
I think we saw everything we wanted to in there. I mean, I know that we kind of got back to where
No.
some of the electric stuff was, and I was like, nah, I don't really want to go back there, so I didn't.
You know how I know we didn't spend enough time in there? You know how I know we didn't find enough time?
I'm waiting for the answer.
We didn't find the big blocked Ford Explorer with the Jurassic Park badge on the side of it, okay?
Wait, where's this microphone? I'm gonna.
Serious.
It's two.
no, I gotta add this. So when I did the first podcast with you guys, we joked around about this Jurassic Park stuff.
Yeah.
So late last night, we decided we were going to ride the roller coaster at New York, New York. And I'm like, hey man, I'm in. Let's do this. And on the way up there, they had a Jurassic Park game, and I was like, how anybody would ever in a million years see that because we're all psyched to ride the roller coaster. She's like, ooh, looky here.
Yeah. I mean,
So we get done.
he zeroed
We
in on
ride
that
the
thing.
ride. We're all having a good time. And then on the way out again, there's a bigger one. And I'm like,
And he goes, hey, take my picture. Here, Ian, take my phone. Take my picture. It's unbelievable.
Oh,
There's some kind of
was so good.
weird infatuation with
it was
Jurassic
so
Park.
good. And it was like instant. I remember that because like I saw a corner of my eye. It was like instant. It's like this. And you're
Yeah.
like, what?
None of the rest of us even clued in on it until Grant's like, ooh, dude, what? Wow.
But we will find that Jurassic Park Explorer. You know why I know we will tomorrow?
It
or
doesn't
this week?
exist.
Is because there's a DeLorean there.
It doesn't
Because
exist.
there's a
Jurassic
time machine DeLorean there, meaning we're going to see a Batmobile at some point. We're going to see a Jurassic Park at some point. We're going to.
There's nothing JP here. Nothing. I'm going to put money on
I'm trying to
it.
figure out why we're still on this.
I know.
you say that.
We're talking about SEMA, and
You
we're going
say
to
that.
Jurassic Park.
And it'll
and
happen. It's just going to happen.
Okay, moving in.
I love that Chad's resigned himself to it already. He's just like, yeah. it's
Moving
gonna
into
happen.
the central hall.
Okay.
What was the best first thing? Anything caught
Yes.
your eye? What do we got?
I will open that up because first thing that caught my eye was sadly a manufacturer's booth.
Yeah.
Because, that's not what we're there to see. But Toyota had a great big area.
So cool.
Like it spanned the whole width of the hall.
Good.
And their off-road section was just incredible. I just loved seeing what they have coming down the pipeline. I mean, I hope it does. I know a lot of that stuff is, not really being manufactured yet. We hope that it will be, but I just really like to see it. The layout was fantastic. They've got all the Forerunners and whatnot.
All
Yeah,
the
that-
concept trucks.
concept.
Yeah, that Hilux
That was
Surf.
so cool.
It was basically a Tacoma single cab
Right.
bikini top, and it was jacked up and had incredible suspension and cool body panels. It was very nice to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that truck,
Yep.
and I think most people would agree because it was right when you walked in.
It was. That was the first one.
First
Yeah.
thing,
Right on the corner. Yeah, that was really
But
cool.
another thing I appreciate about the Toyota booth was that what looked to be a GT86, like a Gazoo, or an FRS or whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it. But it had the
Hachiroku.
yeah, sure, buddy, calm down. It's not an
said
A86.
86.
It's not an A86. They're called GT86. My God, dude, just stop.
Okay.
Just stop.
Okay.
I thought it was a GR.
It's a yeah, but it was GT86.
Yeah.
GR is like the brand. Gazoo Racing. My God, would
And
you
then
guys
Hachiroku.
fucking stop?
He knows what he's talking about. Let him go.
I'm the Toyota guy of the fucking room.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yay.
Okay. Anyways, let me
Hachiroku was-
continue.
Hang on, I got it. There you go.
Okay, so wow, it's all of a sudden wonderful.
Yeah.
It appeared to be a front-wheel drive or horizontal engine setup layout in that chassis.
Yeah.
For the GR4, they called it GR4 Celica, I think they called the concept, but it was the GT86 body. That was incredible. And the headlights and everything were so good. And the 4-bar, hella lights across
Yeah,
the
yeah.
front were
Kind of
just-
the rally.
It was beautiful.
The rally setup for lights.
It was a rally setup, yeah.
Yeah.
And it really looked good.
Yeah. No, I thought that was awesome. I'm glad it caught your eye. And while you were talking about that, I did bring up a picture of that first Tacoma. Was it a Tacoma or a Tundra?
It was a Tacoma
Tacoma.
Surf.
Blue? The
Yeah.
blue one?
Yeah, the blue one.
I thought it was a Forerunner.
I know it kind of looks like a.
I think it was a Forerunner surf concept.
Yeah.
Hilux.
Hilux.
Yeah, which is a Tacoma or a truck.
The Hilux, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a truck.
But it wasn't.
It's got
it
the.
did not have
it's got the jump
Forerunner.
seats and the back roll bar on it. It's awesome looking truck. Yeah. You're on. Okay.
Nice try.
I will turn it right back off.
Okay, you turned it back on. Thank you. Ah.
Anything
Yeah,
to
like
say,
5
or
minutes ago.
just
Oh.
Yeah.
Hi.
No, he doesn't
More
have
nonsense.
anything to say.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right.
From there,
Yeah.
Chad, what was the first thing that caught your eye, buddy?
We didn't make it too far in. Right away, I hit off at the mother's booth right away, and just seeing the quality of stuff and the invites that the major companies give to everybody else to bring their cars in to display out there. I thought that was really cool. We had talked about it last night of how do you get the invite to bring your builds in to SEMA like that. And I mean, there was so much. There was a wide variety of hours and money and quality in there. Everything was great. I mean, there was very few cars we had saw that were like, what is this doing here?
Right.
But, man.
There was a few.
I had to leave you guys because I took so many pictures so quickly and I wanted to get a couple posts out. And I'm like, just leave me behind, guys. Just go.
Save yourselves.
And then I didn't see you for the rest of the day. And we were in the same building.
Yeah.
Which was odd.
Really crazy. Yeah. So I know that just right off the bat, we left the Toyota, we went down the steps, and there it is, the Superformance.
No.
Factory
Factory 5, my bad. Sorry. I get those two mixed up. But yeah, okay. So the Factory 5.
It's as common to replace 8.6 and Hachiroku. I mean, Factory 5.
I am literally going to turn you off. Jeez Louise. We'll put you outside the door. You can vibrate your way down the hall.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, so they've got the Cobras and the cutaway car. So you can see the entire inside, the suspension setup, the frame, all the mounts and everything and how it's all put together. That was super impressive to me to be able to see that, you know. I know that you guys had, like Ian, you had some questions for those guys. And
I did. I've been a big fan of Factory 5 for a number of years. Their flagship car, which they called the GTM, was a mid-engine Grand Tour, or just a giant mid-engine car. It was a super car, kind of classic styled.
Was it GTM or GTX?
GTM.
GTM, okay.
Anything else, Grant?
Yeah, so.
Okay, GTM, big fan, always have been.
Yay.
Very familiar with the name.
Yeah.
They basically told me that car wasn't viable based on the price of the kit and then sourcing the transmission. It's a Porsche, or they had another name for it, but they were using Porsche. That transmission alone is worth $40,000. So to spend $60,000 on a kit car and then to spend $40,000 off the rip just to find the transaxle was not viable, and the few people who did do it had a hell of a time putting it together. So it just wasn't worth building, molding, doing all the things that you had to do to supply a kit car to somebody.
is there any idea, maybe you know, or maybe you ask them, how many of those they produced?
I didn't ask them how many they sold, but they said that only about 10 were produced that they were like stoked on, essentially.
10 that got finished.
10 that got finished where they were like of really good quality.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm sure that varies greatly. They sell a kit, whether it gets finished or not is another thing.
I mean, yeah, like
and then the
cars
quality
that
of
were
the build
there,
is
right?
Yeah.
Those are on their level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't own all of them.
Right.
Like the Daytona that was closest to the rest of the exhibit,
Yeah.
that was not their car. That was a customer's car.
Oh, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Okay.
The dark gray one,
Yeah.
that was not their car.
What
So,
would you anticipate one of those cars being worth?
$80,000.
a GTM?
Oh, that.
I think a GTM would probably be worth maybe $65,000.
140 would be my guess. Like finished, you mean?
Because, you said, what was the chassis cost? 60 grand.
60.
And then the transmission itself was
40.
another
40.
40. So you're in at 100 grand
It's not including
Before it's
engine
done.
or-
before it's done, before
it
you have an
has a-
engine, any
engine
wiring,
paint.
anything,
Yeah.
right? There's one for sale, a 2000 for 78 grand.
Right.
Wow.
That checks
I mean,
out.
you're losing money.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where they alluded to with where the 818 went. And that was another cool chassis and cool kit they made. It's basically a small mid-engine, coupe.
Affordable one.
Yeah, it was cool. And you were supposed to use a Subaru WRX drivetrain in the midship. And they said, well, that kit only was 10 grand out of our factory.
Yeah.
And then by the time you put 20 grand or 10 grand into it for a drivetrain, and then the build and putting it all together, they weren't worth anything after that. Like people were selling it for like 18 grand and shit.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'd be worth more now, but at the time you couldn't flip it. You couldn't.
Well, especially discontinued is going to be worth more, right?
And then you're not gonna have parts
Yeah.
from them.
But not from them, yeah.
So
One-off
I
stuff.
get it,
Yeah,
but they were like, it was our entry level kit,
yeah.
and
It just didn't
make
make
sense anymore.
Right, right.
And now they have that Speed Star, which is like a chopped.
34.
It looks like a 30s Ford.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's a great looking
It
car.
is a good
Oh,
looking
it's so
car.
cool.
Yeah,
The one they had there particularly was very well done.
Yep.
They had a Hemi motor in it. Like, it looked really good.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, I imagine that between the Daytona, the classic Shelby, and the Speed Star, they don't really need anything else.
No, I'm sure they do pretty good. I mean, Daytona's probably got to be their biggest seller.
Well, they had 4 out of them.
21,000 for that kit.
How much are their Cobras? Because I see more Cobras, I feel like, a Factory 5 than
Oh, I'm
Daytona.
sorry. That's what I meant.
Okay.
Was
Yeah.
the Cobra?
Yeah.
Has got to be their biggest seller.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's 21,000 for the Cobra kit.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it's really low. That's super affordable.
But-
You know,
Well,
I
they-
think we talked about that.
Is that a rolling
God, dude,
chassis?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So you got to put a motor and transmission in, and obviously you got to finish it all,
Yeah.
build it, whatever. I don't know what kind of hours it takes to build one of those, but
Yeah.
still
it's a
seems affordable.
shitload.
Yeah,
I mean, as we can all imagine, it's hard enough to build a car from,
from one that's already built.
let alone how much it's going to cost to, put one together
Put
off
one
a
together.
kit.
Right.
Yeah.
And their kits are, although very good quality, we're not talking super performance here.
Yeah.
Like, you can see the quality difference between them, and we can touch on that later.
Well, I was able to ask one of their guys about, like, what's the main difference between Super Performance and Factory 5? Because I grew
okay.
up with Super Performance.
Yeah, yeah.
And they said that the biggest difference they feel like is that their chassis are just a little bit more done and more modernized. And which makes sense because Super
The
Performance...
Factory 5 is more
No.
complete. Okay.
Yeah,
Super
the-
Performance was.
No,
Yeah.
they said the Factory 5 was more engineered than... That's what they believe than the Super Performance.
Okay.
Because Super Performance, they built to original specs. Mm-hmm. You know? Kind of like what we'll get to about, like, the...
I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. I get that. Okay. So yeah, they stepped outside of that probably for reliability and quality issues.
And
you know.
probably cost.
Could be.
The-
Because the cost of the kits are so much cheaper.
Well, I'd also argue...
Or less expensive, not cheaper.
I would also argue they probably did that to stand out because out of all the Cobra replicas, it's the most replicated car in history.
Yeah.
It's the Cobra.
Yep.
You know,
Honestly, they are everywhere.
Yeah.
Like they are all over that show floor.
yeah.
They're cool. I mean, the ones they bring are really great looking
Mm-hmm.
cars. And personally, I'd have a hard time telling an original from the replica.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I like them and I respect them, but just based on the sheer numbers of them, it waters it down for me.
It does. Yep.
And we've talked about this on podcasts before. That's why, like, when we went to beaches, there was a real Cobra
Yeah.
sitting in their field,
Yeah.
unmarked or anything, because you can get away with it. People think it is a replica,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
No one's going to mess with it. They're going to be like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's a Cobra.
Yeah. Just
You know? But it's a $5 million car just sitting there,
sitting there in the field.
you know?
Yep. Yep. I mean, that one had some patina on it. You
Yeah.
could tell. You know, it was an original 60s car.
But but it loses its allure when it's
does.
surrounded by other ones.
It
Yeah.
does. Yeah. Fancier, brighter paint, cleaner.
But I will say, a Cobra, if by itself out in the wild, just driving, it puts
Pretty
a smile on everyone's face.
Absolutely. Yeah, replica or not. I'm not throwing shade on them. I think they're
Me
cool.
neither.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's move on to what's the coolest thing you saw today?
I wanted to put on something before that.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I wanted to say, because we got there, we opened up, we saw that when the first boost.
Okay,
The
okay.
one thing, though, which
Yeah.
I was very excited for, we
Yes.
joked the longest time about getting me a leash.
Yes.
And we went for the alternative.
Yes. We did.
The bright orange cone.
Tomorrow it's a leash.
Yes. No.
Maybe a ball gag.
There was no one there. Was
Homing beacon.
Just that.
just that. Just turn him loose with that.
it was nuts, though. There was no one there with a bright shirt. So
Nope.
it kind of worked because we got a lot of attention because of that, you know?
It did work.
Yeah.
And we could spot you from anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good. He's like, he's socializing like a butterfly over there. He's, okay.
I will give you props, dude. You did great today. You got some really good contacts.
Yay.
Yeah. So good job. Mm-hmm. Good job.
One of the nicest cars I saw today, if we're talking about best of the day, I did see a Golf 2. They had it marked as, so it was a Mark II Golf, but it was insanely modified. It was mid-engine VR6 turbo. The body panels alone had to jut it out at least another foot
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
completely. The wheels setup were ungodly, and the amount of custom fabrication they put into it. The inlet for the turbo was what looked to be made by a jewelry maker of a gas mask, and just gold all over this dark gray body and finish, and the interior was just everything about it. It really shook me.
Yeah.
And I hate Volkswagen.
Yep.
I've never been a fan, but this was pretty much just a Volkswagen motor with a shell on it.
Yeah, just
was a
such a
custom
clean
car.
build. I mean, the detail that you could see in that car. The thing that kind of got me about that thing too was like how I don't know how they could have put it together to actually, because it was very tight working spaces, right, inside that coupe, a hatchback. Getting that motor in there, the piping work for the exhaust alone, trying to fit all of that, and then with the gold heat wrap on it, I'm like, it was so cleanly done. Like, that's really tedious, the amount of attention to detail and how long it must have taken to put that together.
Yeah.
Do we know why they moved the motor from the front to the back?
Cool.
Cool factor.
Cool.
What's that?
It's 10 times better always?
I don't know if I agree with that.
Well,
I mean, it's a cool concept, but I don't know if I agree that always moving the motor from the front to the back is better.
I mean, it was a mid-engined.
In a Volkswagen Golf, dude?
Golf. I mean,
think it goes
cool
without
factor
saying.
alone.
I mean, no, it's cool as shit.
Mid-engine is better than front-wheel drive crap.
Is that
Yeah.
Golf or is that
I would go
considered a
with that.
Rabbit?
Oh, that was called a Golf, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't look at the tire setup with the 315s on the back of that
Massive.
thing, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're huge.
Did you see that car?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing was bonkers.
Jeremy, I just lost a whole lot of respect for you.
Oh, you're.
I'm just asking because, like, just because you move the motor from the front to the back doesn't mean that the handling is going to be better. or
Honestly, it
something like
probably
that.
does.
I mean,
Because of just the balance of the car.
maybe, yeah.
Where this motor was sat was mid-ship. I'm not talking rear engine.
Yep.
It was right behind the driver's head. You're talking between both axles. And you're telling me that one on the front overhanging the axle would be anywhere near as good? Bro, it's not. We're not even going to have this
All I know is, Jeremy, next
It's not
time,
even a conversation.
Next time we're having yard work, I'm going to have you pull the wheelbarrow instead of push it.
I've done that before.
There you go.
It hurts my heels.
There you go.
It hurts my heel. You can look at it tomorrow.
Yeah.
You weren't there.
I was curious because I didn't
yeah.
get to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
For just a heads up, Jeremy
And
got
plus
here
custom work, bro.
late. Jeremy got there late today.
We're not talking just
for
on
reference.
sheer
Yep.
amount of custom fabrication
Yeah.
This
no,
car was-
that thing was sick.
on
Just
another
awesome.
level.
Yeah. Really good. Really good one.
We're already at the coolest thing I saw today. That's normally at the end of our segments.
I know. We're,
know,
we're
right?
doing it early.
Sweet.
Because everything was the coolest thing we saw
I
today.
had two things. So the first thing that caught my eye, I literally stopped to grab Rob, like, you need to see this right now. He's like, what? I'm like, this. And it was just like a liquid, like, paint job detail. I think it was at the Mother's booth, right? Like of a Lincoln Continental. And it just flowed so well. I've never seen
That car was sick.
Oh, man.
Gorgeous.
That thing, I don't know, it was 25 feet long.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
It
was-
almost seems stretched.
Yeah.
doesn't it?
But it looked like liquid.
Yeah.
It didn't look like a solid car. It was so pretty.
Now, granted, it's
Yeah.
at the Mother's booth, and they want it to just look.
Yeah.
So it was extremely good paint
Yeah.
to start with, and whether they used their products on it
Yeah.
or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that car was awesome. I stood there and looked at that thing for a long time,
Yeah.
kind of trying to decide if it was actually stretched. Chad, do you think it was? Because it was long.
I mean, it was so low though. I mean,
Yeah.
it made it look long, but I mean, it literally took a whole Instagram post to get around that. So
Yeah.
it was so
I
long.
think
Yeah.
for a fact it probably wasn't stretched.
Yeah.
But just the amount of trick modifications they had on it.
Yeah.
All the corner lights, all the corner emblems were shaved.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
everything was shaved. Besides, I mean, even the door handles were shaved.
Yep.
Like, everything was
Smooth.
gone.
Yeah.
So that makes it look longer when
Sure.
there's no distractions along the body,
that
and there
makes
was
sense.
no trim either.
No, there wasn't.
No.
So it's like that makes it look like a insane thing.
Yeah.
But it was very well done. How close they got the bumpers to the body was remarkable.
Yeah.
it was literally like an 1/8-inch gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I found that to be very, very fascinating.
Yeah.
And trick.
Super good
trick.
build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the other cool thing I saw today, switching it up.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw this. This is the one time we actually left the building for once. It was right in one of the alleys. Was like a Mercedes SLK or SLR.
SLA.
It's something like that. Long nose supercar.
Yeah, with the Lambo type doors or whatever it had on it.
Yeah, with the butterfly
Red
type
and white
doors,
one?
and it was done tastefully. Where they got rid of the front or the window, they put double bubbles on it. They put a really massive wing on it, and this is already a rare car in the Mercedes world. That's like an Enzo in the Mercedes world.
Okay.
And them doing to that made it really tasteful, but still looking like a Mercedes.
It was super blingy.
Yeah.
Ian and I stood there and looked at that for quite a while, and I was
call
like,
it
you know,
tasteful.
if they would have blacked it out, it would have looked like a Batmobile.
I literally had someone come up to me and say that.
I think it was me.
Yeah. No, it was a different.
I found it to be fascinating.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't call it tasteful.
It was over the top blingy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You wanted to see a Batmobile.
There you go.
Yeah.
There we go.
it was just painted the wrong color.
Dang it.
Okay.
There's a couple cars in the tread pass area that were.
So we got 2 of the 3 cars, meaning
The
there's going to be an
Celica.
Explorer.
That Celica with the Toyota V12 was remarkable.
That was
Yeah,
cool.
that was sick.
Just so well done. The engine was incredible.
Really liked it.
That
See that thing run.
S13 convertible with the BMW front end with the V8 and throttle bodies was very nice.
Yeah.
The E36 BMW with the LS
Yep.
with the throttle bodies was ungodly. I mean, everything looked out there was
That was
Top
really
notch.
good stuff. Yeah, for sure. Chad, what do you got? What's on the top of your
So
list?
round 2 of this,
Yes.
I've had more time to think.
Ah, Agreed. Yep.
So probably let's start at the bottom.
Okay.
So
All right.
so there was one no, not a C10, but it was a 72 GMC 1500, but it was an old patina truck.
Okay.
Sitting in one of the old retro audio booths there, and I like that because I'm like, hey, there's something at SEMA for everybody.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
was really cool to just see kind of something with a little bit of rust. They called it Jet Blue, but it's one of the chefs from the Food Network's truck.
Oh, okay.
So he'll be there tomorrow signing autographs of that. But it was surprising to me that how many people gravitated to that.
Yeah.
Because it was out of the norm. It wasn't,
It wasn't-
$100,000 truck.
Yeah.
It was just something you'd see out on the street. So
I walked around that thing 2 or 3 different times, and I was like, yeah, I really like it. It's
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
I thought that was slick. I'm not a Ford guy, but over at the Cerakote booth, they had a 56 F100 that was stripped completely down. I mean, there wasn't a flaw in that body, but it was just all chrome, all stainless steel. It was just perfect, and then they cleared it. But that was a sweet truck to see something completely done.
So wait, if there
with
was
no paint.
there was no flaw with the truck. Is that
Other than a Ford. but
okay? I was just saying, other than the big blue oval in the front. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey now. Hey now. Watch your mouth.
Watch my mouth.
No, he's onto something here.
Yeah, but I think the top vehicle for me, but I'm biased.
Sure.
But was a 72 K5 4-wheel drive that the Ring brothers built. It was over in their booth. But I walked that thing several times, and I just picked up something every single time I walked around it because it was so highly modified. But you knew it was still a 72 K5 out of it as well. But some guy came up to me and he's like, hey, the owner's over there. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, well, why don't you just ask him questions? I'm like, well, he's out of my league, but okay. So
Yeah.
he gave me probably 15, 20 minutes of his time and
That's
just
so cool.
walk through everything. But there were so many modifications, but it was very tasteful, I thought, but so many G parts, F-150 console. I mean, they didn't miss anything on that. But man, the black paint almost looked like a deep purple to me, but it was Range Rover black. And
Yeah.
Okay.
just so many fine details in that. And he had it laid out. He knew exactly what it would look like with the top off by raising the bed sides on it to be flush with the doors. You know, he had planned everything for this, and it was called Tuca. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I see this Indian chief head next to Tuca. I'm like, how'd you come up with that? And he's like, well, it took a shitload of money and it took a shitload of time. So it was pretty fitting to come up with that. And I'm like, oh my God, that's
So good.
That's awesome.
I do love that. That's
Yeah.
such a great way to name a car.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to catch him and his wife sometime this week and do a walk around with them too. So that was probably my favorite of the day so far.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of cars there that weren't on the level. There wasn't many cars that just sucked.
No.
In general. I mean,
No.
I didn't see maybe two that were like out of place at all.
Yeah.
And even still, they didn't blow me away as far as they shouldn't be there. They were just different.
Yeah. Yeah, there's maybe some different stuff, maybe things that you wouldn't necessarily agree with
Yeah.
or wouldn't do on your own project.
That's in a whole nother video we may or may not have
Well,
talked
yeah,
about.
right. Right. But yeah, everything was done, top notch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to say real quick before I got too far away for it. I don't know about you guys, but I felt like adding on what you were saying. I felt like anyone there that you were talking to, they wanted to talk to you.
Yeah.
There was no one who was like above, like, I don't have time for this, or nah, go fast. Everyone was just super helpful and wanted to tell you about their product, what they
Yeah.
did, how the build went.
You know what? In fact, it was more the opposite. I felt like I wasn't worthy of their time.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was like, nah, I don't want to bug you. You got more important things to do. But you're right. Like people would just, tell you all about it. If you had questions or whatever, they were more than happy to, answer
Yeah.
them. Yeah, it was pretty cool. My favorite cars, GT40, the Superformance, because
That's so cool.
the only one that I saw there today, and I just really like that car, and like the spec sheet on that car, you guys pointed out it was 60% could be bolted onto a original GT40. Like that's how close they built those cars to their tolerance.
It even said on that sheet that it's so authentic towards the original that they're considered continuation cars.
Yeah, they got the rights to the name GT40 from Ford because they are so authentic. So it's pretty cool. I really liked looking that car over and just getting up close to it. I think that's pretty neat.
Superformance is outstanding.
Oh, yeah.
In all their cars.
quality,
That
yeah.
C2 Corvette they have,
That thing was
That was
immaculate.
it's shocking.
Yeah.
And the front end with the new headlights they have on it, it changes the whole look of the car.
Yeah.
And they call it a lightweight project
Okay.
where they've literally,
Shaved a lot of
I don't even know how you would
dead weight off of it.
with a fiberglass body car anyway.
Right.
But they found a way to do it.
Yeah.
Weren't the original cars made of aluminum?
No.
No?
All Corvettes were fiber.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, trying to shave off that much weight off
Yeah.
it to call it a lightweight project or whatever. I mean, it was a great looking car.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very cool. The other one on my list is the Pantera from Finn's Restoration. He's out of Salem, Oregon. We talked to him for quite a little while.
Such a pretty car.
Just a gorgeous car. Denny Finn. He's offered to give us a tour of his facility, and talk to us on the podcast. So hopefully we can make that happen
That's
later on.
really cool.
And he's restored, you say 4 or 5 different Panteras.
5.
5,
Yeah.
yeah. And that particular one had a custom interior dash that he's come up with, and looks like he's going to be able to put that in a couple of different cars and that kind of stuff.
Well, do you remember how he was saying, like, how some of the dash designs got implemented?
Well, he told us the story of how it came up with it. He was driving back from Bend or something, and just no radio in the car, and was just looking at sagebrush, and decided his mind started wandering. He's like, you know what? I could do this. I could do that. And he got back to his shop and started working with a friend of his and came up with some designs. And yeah, one thing led to another, and they've got a new interior. And the interior of it looks like it should be there.
Yeah.
It is
It
just
looks retro modern.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
Because it does have a screen in it and that kind of stuff now, but it fits so well.
Yeah, and that was one thing I wanted to add to that screen story, just because he was talking. Oh, that's not me. Okay. He added that.
I needed to cough. I didn't want to.
He had that screen because he had a customer who actually wanted to put a backup camera onto the back of one of their
Right, yeah.
Panteras.
Yep.
And, he's like, well, where do you want it? Do you want me to just put it on here? Do you want it in a mirror? He goes, no, I want to actually have a screen because I want to see my sat nav.
Yeah.
So that's why they incorporated that screen dash. He's like, I'll figure something out. And they prototype designed and made that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good.
But it's not in your face iPad tablet, and it's not too small where you can't see
tasteful.
it. It was done right.
Yeah, I think it's pretty tasteful. It does look more modern with the screen in it and that kind of stuff, but it looks good.
Did you notice it had cup holders?
I did.
I was like, wow.
Worked into
Obviously, that was by design.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because the original ones didn't. So where are you gonna set your beer?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Pabst Blue Ribbon, sponsored by.
No.
Get out of here. Yeah. Don't do that. They didn't pay us.
No.
We paid them a lot. Well, I take that back. You didn't pay for squat.
Somebody did.
You want to tell that story, Ian?
Sure, we're at the Flamingo yesterday, and we're standing at Starbucks waiting for coffee, and the dude rolls up to me and said, hey, do you guys want free beer? And before he finished the word beer, I said, yes.
Yes, you did.
And he said, well, you just got to follow me out to my car. And I was like, okay.
You're not going to rape me, are you?
I thought
That
we
came
had.
And I said, why? And he goes, I just got married yesterday. I said, oh, that's a good enough reason for me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This dude was named Robert. Thank you, Robert. You'll probably never hear of us or hear this either, but you just got married to a woman you met a month ago, buddy, and I hope it works out.
yeah.
Let me put it that way.
And you didn't lose your kidneys to
Yeah.
him.
No,
in the
and I got
trunk of his
I got
car,
like 30 free beers.
I honestly thought us being in Vegas, we were going to have the hangover Doug moment, being like, oh, we lost Ian.
Yeah. Wasn't sure he was coming back. We were
Yeah.
going to give him like 15 minutes and then maybe go out to the parking lot. And look
Chad
for him.
was convinced Mike Tyson was going to find us
Yeah,
and shake us down.
I mean, being in this room, I figured we're going to throw a mattress out the window.
Yeah.
There's going to be a Tiger and Mike Tyson in here. I mean, and then I look up and Tyson's fighting Jake Paul in a couple of weeks. I'm like, it could happen.
It could happen. Yeah. You got to get acclimatized, right?
Right?
Yeah,
All right, I got two.
Okay.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know
Late
I
to
was
the
only-
show, but yeah.
I know that I was only there for a short time.
Oh,
I
good.
was late to the show today, but there was an all carbon fiber body 280Z.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, I did
Very
see that.
nicely done.
Yeah.
And then the second one, there was a there was an old Ford tractor with a V8 on it,
No kidding.
and it looked like 54-inch super swampers on the back and slicks on the front, and it was all blacked out. It was so cool.
Bananas.
And by Ford tractor, you mean like a semi truck?
No.
No?
Like
Actual
a
tractor.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Ford used to make
So what-
tractors.
What does he use? Is it a puller? Like a competition puller or what?
It's a flex.
No.
It's
It's,
just a
it's
flex.
like an
I'm
old
just
farm
curious.
tractor.
Yeah, I'm just curious,
Yeah.
like what the build is about. Like,
I don't know what they're using it for.
Yeah.
I didn't really get a chance to walk over and talk to the guy.
Yeah.
But super nicely done. Looked very clean. I don't know if I would have put the chrome wheels on the back.
bling bling.
Yeah, I mean they blinged it out a little bit, but it was pretty nice.
Okay.
I probably wouldn't run it through the mud to plow anything, but it was cool. It was cool to look at.
He probably had a motor sitting around. He had a tractor over there, and he was sitting out there having a beer one day, and he goes, "You know what I'm going to do?
Make that work.
I'm going to put those two together."
That mud looks fun.
Yeah, something like that. That's pretty funny. That's cool.
I had to giggle one vehicle towards the end of the day. There's some folks from Australia walking around, and they're like, huh, "This isn't something you'd think you'd see here." What was the Joe Dirt car?
Oh,
yeah, that was cool seeing that.
And then I was like, "Yeah, you just to let you know, it's a movie car, and it sold for $330,000
That
last
thing
year."
is
Joe
really
Dirt.
Dare take.
Tay.
Well,
Yeah.
because it's a real Roadrunner. It's not a Superbird, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and it's a movie car. I mean, come on.
I mean, that car is probably the most beat up car I've seen on property.
Yeah,
You think? I mean, that thing was, whew.
I don't even know how you make the Kragers that rusty.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a great
You have
job.
to try.
That thing was seriously rough.
It was it was a great show today, man. I'm happy and I'm stoked for tomorrow.
Oh, it should be so
I do want to bring this up again because we talked about the
The Jurassic
Ferrari.
Yeah.
You never say that again. Never.
Yeah, no, that was probably the most well-used car
Yeah.
that I saw
Yeah.
on display because you
That
could
was-
tell that it had been driven a lot.
Yeah.
The fiberglass
Yep.
chunks missing out of it.
Yeah. Little
Yeah.
chips and this and that.
Chips, but it still was very well put together. It was
Full-on
in
race
good
car.
form.
And, somehow Grant knows it's a 288 on a 308 chassis.
Well, the reason I knew is because it's in a very good-looking 288, but you go to the back and you can see the engine is sideways
oh, that's right.
instead of longitudinally. And
Yep.
when it's sideways, it means it's a 308 or 328 on the inside.
Okay.
Because after that, the 348 Plus and the 288 was originally longitudinal because of rallying.
Only a Ferrari guy would know that, so
Yeah,
good job.
that's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But it was beat in one
It
sense.
was, but
In a
I liked
sense.
it. Yeah.
In
It
a
was.
sense, it was beat, but it was very, very nice.
Yeah, it was well used,
was
which
well
I
used.
appreciated about that. I felt like that's a car I could get in and just not feel bad about flogging it.
I got a
wanna
question.
know
I got a
about
question to you guys. Do you think it was well used, or do you think it was an old shell that they just put on there and cleaned up?
No.
No,
That was the
no,
car.
it appeared to be in the condition that it was, like how it was built. It was used that way.
Okay.
Yeah, just because I looked at the interior and that kind of stuff, and it seemed like that's how they were using it.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, I liked it. It was cool.
Very cool.
What other stuff did you guys see that was maybe a little more beat than you would have
Jay Leno.
anticipated? Jay looked tired.
He was. Should we talk about that?
Yeah,
Should
sure.
we talk about that? All right.
Yes.
I got to meet one of my heroes today, ladies and gentlemen. I got to meet Jay Leno today.
Yep.
I didn't have words. I couldn't talk straight.
Which-
It saw the Energizer Bunny just be like,
But he's
That does
not
not
a
happen.
blonde, so I thought it was only blondes you couldn't do that with.
it was didn't have much time to talk to him, but just enough to say thank you. I gotta thank him for
Yeah.
especially stuff he did in COVID,
Yep.
all his videos, and got to take a picture with him in a Polaroid, which was awesome.
Yep.
At the same time, gonna just continue on that, and we met Fluffy, same time.
Yep.
Andrew, I can't say this. I'm Mexican. Can't say his name. And Ingles. Someone say it. Yes, but his first name,
Fluffy.
Fluffy.
Yeah.
I feel like an ass right now. Andrea,
It's okay because I don't know him.
Okay, he's a comedian. He's into Volkswagen buses. He's got like
Okay.
maybe 100 buses now
Yeah.
of classic 60s ones.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Andrea Ingles. But I think the funniest thing was in the line getting for that, because I'd leave you guys for
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Oh, it was way longer than that, but okay.
What were we doing the night before?
Drinking and riding a roller coaster?
Car hopping.
Yeah.
See, you know what I'm talking about.
No, not at all. Nothing.
We got off the roller coaster, start going through, and I'm like, what? You guys, that was
That's right.
no way.
Yeah. Yeah, we did talk about that.
We just for like half an hour, we're just talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm in the line for Jay Leno, and who just shows up is that guy just starts walking by. I stop him, and I'm like, are you, not even thinking, I'm like, are you the what? No way guy. And he goes, no way. Yeah, that's me. Like, "Oh, can I get your picture, man? It'd be so cool. He's like, oh, okay. I grab the Polaroid camera up and take a picture, and he's like, okay. And I'm like, it's a Polaroid. He goes, really? Oh, that's kind of cool. He's like, really? Huh? Interesting. He's flapping. I'm like, say the thing.
Say the thing.
And I'm like, well, let me take another one. You can keep that one. I'll take one. He's like, okay, really? I'm like, yeah. He's like this, and he's eyeballing and take another one. And he's sitting there. He's like, wow, that really is a Polaroid. I'm like, say the thing.
Say the thing. Wouldn't say the thing.
It was say the thing.
I feel bad because I don't know his real name. I don't know if anybody does.
His-
I don't even know who he is.
His Instagram handle says the what no way guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, for F6 is his hat. So
Yeah.
So good. Oh man.
Sakes.
Well, it was
we can
awesome
say it. It's a
meeting him.
podcast.
no,
It's
that's
fine.
true.
Yeah. No, I think that's pretty cool. I would have.
cool.
I would have been down with meeting that guy.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow.
We got tomorrow.
Yep.
I'll tell you more about later.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
So back to rewind there.
Okay.
Something you saw that maybe you thought didn't quite, wasn't pristine.
Okay.
everything-
different thing.
Different thing.
Okay.
Pristine, but still really good quality.
That Lamborghini Huracan
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
was,
I almost forgot about that one.
has definitely been wrecked, rolled. Mm-hmm. And it was still very presentable.
Yeah.
But you could tell that the A pillars had been crushed.
Mm-hmm. They
And,
put it back together,
put it back
but
together.
left patina for worse.
Well, and
word.
then the headlight surrounding, you could
Oh,
they
that's
just
right.
put sheet metal behind it, and you could see the cracks and
Which was kinda
blisters.
cool.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought
I
it
thought it
was
was cool.
badass.
Yeah.
I thought it looked very good
Yeah.
for what it was.
Yep.
Because we all knew that it had been.
You could tell it had been
totaled.
wrecked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was my favorite car as far as like pieces of shit that were there. on
Quote
the floor.
unquote.
Quote unquote.
Right.
I mean, I'd drive it and be proud of it,
Oh, absolutely.
but it was definitely wrecked.
Yeah.
I think I got one, but I'm not sure if it counts as a
Okay.
piece of shit, quote unquote.
Okay.
And I think it's because, like, I know you, when we saw it, we were trying to figure out what it was. I feel like it was just kind of slapped together, is what it kind of felt like to me, was the front end Camaro, back end
Oh,
Porsche,
we saw that yesterday.
Honda XCX.
CRX.
Yeah. That was jacked up. I was so confused
It's like
about
a
what
gasser.
it was.
Yeah, it was like a gasser. It was
Yeah.
super tall. I'm still unsure what the car was.
Yeah.
Because it did have a Camaro front end. Okay,
Yeah.
so the shell body, cockpit, was CRX.
Yeah.
Camaro front end, Mustang taillight section.
Yeah.
I have no idea what was under the hood.
It didn't feel like it was
V8.
blunt,
It
and
was a
it
small block.
Okay.
didn't feel like it was blunt. It felt like it was like, just take, cut, and then just kind of weld it.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't done very well.
Yeah.
But I don't know why the car was there. Is it competing in something? Is it drifting? Is it, I don't know.
That
I think
but-
it's just chilling
was weird.
outside.
yeah.
Yeah, a little weird.
So I think for the not ugliest car, but
Yeah.
what didn't belong. That to me was that I was like,
Okay.
I couldn't.
I kind of forgot about that one. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would agree. Chad, did you see anything that was like kind of out of place?
No, but again, I limited myself into
Yeah,
probably
the one room.
upper echelon of
Yeah.
what should be there. And
Sure.
a couple things that I picked up there, and I had talked to a lot of vendors there, and they said, this is where SEMA started. Was
That room.
is this room right
makes
here?
sense.
This is the kind of the founding fathers of
Okay.
SEMA, and it continues on from this point with the Hollies and
Yeah.
all the big names up there too. So it's hard to say there was really anything inside that I saw, but I did limit myself just to being into the main area today.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, the hot rods and resto mods and yeah, it's great stuff in there though.
I-
I do want to touch back on the Blazers, right? The Blazer that Ian and I looked at that slammed to the ground. Do you think that was? It was a K5 base anyway. Do you think because it had third row seat, was it stretched a little bit? Was it maybe suburban-esque and then cut down?
I thought about that.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it didn't actually start its life as a Blazer.
Right.
I think they just modified it to look like a Blazer.
Okay, because I kind of thought I kind of got that vibe out of
Be
it
a
too,
Suburban.
because it was super
They
tubbed.
just bikinied it.
Yeah.
And kept it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But with the amount of work they had on the rear suspension,
Yeah.
and it could have been anything.
Yeah.
But
Agreed.
what that one was it?
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So pretty.
I mean, look at the size of those tubs,
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then the suspension.
wheel size,
That rear
something
I
around.
saw the cantilever, the
25.
opposing cantilever with the
Yeah.
airbags, and I'm like,
Yeah,
this is bananas.
yeah,
Mhm.
super
It could
awesome
have started
build.
its life as even a long bed pickup.
It could have. You're right. Yeah,
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't either. I'll post pictures of that one because I got a little video of it too.
Yeah, I think
You
I
think?
think it was it. I think it was a pickup.
Yeah.
What was giving hints of that you think?
Length.
Lane.
Was
How
that
long
the
it
big
was?
thing?
Yeah.
The length of it there, and I didn't see the rear section raised normally like a K5 was. But one thing you didn't do that I saw that at C10 Nationals in Texas last year, but he had it lit up from the backside, the back floor, and it just really pops with the reds and the wood grains in there.
Oh, okay.
I wish he would have done that. I think he missed something with that, but it just gorgeous build though.
It is.
And he had the lower 60, 67, 68 trim on it, but he painted it black on that gray. And
Yeah, the black
It's
on
killer.
the gray was really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real fast. Gabriel
was beautiful.
Iglesias.
oh, that
That
yeah,
was-
that's
that's
that
the
was
guy.
name.
That's the
no
name.
doubt.
Okay.
Well, you weren't even close.
No.
So.
I was drawing a blank.
I hate it when I draw blanks like
Ugh.
that. It makes me feel bad.
It's because we're in front of a camera. Obviously, I'm nervous when the camera comes on.
Obviously.
It's like I've never been in front of one before.
Right. Anyway, yeah, that Blazer, and then the custom half-ton could have been a factory Blazer.
Yeah, that was crazy. That looked to be an RST 1500.
I don't even know what booth that was, honestly.
I couldn't tell you either.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this. It had an RST base, 1500.
Yep.
And they made it a single cab, which they never released either.
Right.
And then they grafted a camper shell onto it,
Yep.
and it looked factory.
It also had rear,
K5, brand new K5 Blazer.
it had rear seating too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it did.
It had a second row seating.
I was gonna say, as a non-Chevy guy,
I think they just moved the cab, the B pillars forward to look like a single cab, but it was still like a crew
I
cab.
can believe
Oh, yeah, could have been, sure.
yeah, I was gonna say I'm not even a Chevy guy, but if you would have told me that was factory, I would have believed you 100%.
Absolutely.
It was done so well.
Yep.
It was Flat Out Autos is what the license plate has on it. But
Okay.
yeah,
Shout out to Flat Out Autos.
that was legit. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
GM should pick up on that and be like, hey,
Absolutely.
what are we missing? And this is it right there.
For sure.
It was a gorgeous truck.
Even if it was a limited run, I think that would get some spice in there.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, GM's
sell
missing
that.
it with the front end. I mean, if they would go back, I've seen a lot of prototypes of the square bodies on. Oh my gosh, they'd make a 3/4 ton Duramax, a square body nose. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Agreed.
Yeah, no, I thought that truck was like, I don't think you guys even noticed that it was not factory. I was
No.
like, that is not
Yeah.
factory.
No, I was having a hard time not pinning it as a factory vehicle. It was so
Right,
good.
yeah.
It was that well done.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Sign me up. I want to buy one.
Me too.
It's awesome.
What was your favorite cars, or vehicles that brought you back to your childhood, like movies and stuff like that? There was
that's
a couple
good.
there that brought me back to,
Okay.
to movies. And I was like, ooh.
That's a good question.
What do you
Like,
guys got on that?
I don't know about movie cars, but like
I could tell you about movie cars.
every second gen 70 to 73 Camaro that I saw, I just drool over because I had one as a kid, right? As a teenager. And I look at all of them. I'm just like, yes, I love this. I love that. You know, it's like, I love those things. That one really stirs something for me. I like seeing those.
I wanted to come back to the room tonight and watch Christine.
Okay.
Because over it was Cerakote's booth.
Yep.
They had a 57 or 58 Grand Fury, which is the longest car in the frickin' world. But it was that turquoise. It was just beautiful. But I'm like,
Yeah.
it's Christine, just it's brother.
Yeah.
With that part, I thought that was pretty slick. And then of course seeing Eleanor every time I
Yeah.
see a
That was
67, I'm just walk through and I'm like, oh, I want to go back and watch Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yep.
But those were probably the two things that brought me back to movies or old
That's
car
cool.
movies. So
Yeah.
I
I
did.
thought another cool car that I saw is a vehicle being produced by Alchemy. It appears to be that full steel-bodied retro Bronco.
Oh, that's right.
Yet it's a production vehicle,
Yep.
and you can buy it brand new with a modern interior and modern motor. There's a Godzilla in it,
Yeah, it had 7.3 in it.
and the front end looks like a modern Bronco, and everything else is retro.
Yeah, I had a hard time.
They make
you had to
a
point
long
that out
one.
to me.
Yeah, they make an XL, they make a truck, and they make a coupe, or the two-door.
Yeah.
And I thought that freaking thing was badass.
It was really cool.
like that was cool that somebody's doing that.
I was confused. We're standing there looking at it, and I'm like, is it a new one converted a little retro? Is it a retro one brought up to new? Like you had to point out that it was like a total retro truck.
It was. Yeah.
But man, that was really nice. That was really nice.
I didn't check the price tag, and
I
I'm
didn't
not
either.
going to, but I imagine it's at least $250,000 truck.
Probably. Yeah, pretty awesome though. Yeah, you could get the old style Bronco in a brand new vehicle.
Brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see a DeLorean today.
Yeah. How dare you?
A Back to the Future DeLorean.
Did you see Doc Brown?
He had stepped out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was over in the drift pad.
he was
Was
over
he?
in 1988.
Yes, exactly.
Where's that ball gag?
What?
Did anybody order it?
No.
You were supposed to bring that.
What was the company that won the award for the dial ball today? The something dog.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
we can get him a customized one. So
I like it.
Right.
shift ball.
Custom shift ball. Yeah. No, that was pretty great.
That was awesome.
What was did you see anything that like movie wise? Right. How about you, Grant? You're a big movie guy.
I was thinking about this. Well, is it a movie car or the car that took me back?
I think either one. I mean,
The only one that
it reminded you of movies or reminded you when you were younger, but still into the cars.
Yeah, the only thing I can really think of off the top of my head that was bringing me back. Again, a lot of Cobras I grew up with, but none of them. There's a specific car and style that's like my old man's, so none of the Cobras hit that for me.
Okay.
The thing that probably did was that 288 GTO Ferrari, even though it was rebodied, just the lines of a classic older Ferrari kind of hit it for me. But I don't think there was anything. I mean, we saw, like, for example, someone would say it'd be like an R34. We saw a bunch of those today, but I didn't grow up in the PlayStation era. I don't know. I think it's going to come when we see more of the show, and I'm probably going to stop dead in my tracks and be like, wow, this brings me back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Was there anything that like jumped out at you? Not necessarily.
Yes.
Well, almost. I know that Ian said that Gulf kind of stopped you, even though it's not something that you would normally like or look at, right?
Not even close.
Yeah. Is there anything else in that realm of like, I don't really like these kind of cars, but damn, that's really cool?
I feel like that car was there.
Yeah.
Because I just would never even expect it from
Right.
that level of quality and build, and I would love to drive that car, but not to say I wouldn't drive this car, but I did see a Porsche 993, and I'm not a big Porsche guy either.
Yeah.
But that blue one out there on Tread Pass. with
Oh,
the
yeah.
Giant rear flares and giant rear wing
Yep.
with the tan interior. That car was shockingly good.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so well done for a heavily modified Porsche that it would probably make the purists happy. But like that car, I was like, I want that car. Like that was one that I was like, okay, that's a really, really well done car.
Yeah.
I think I actually might have think I saw one. It wasn't today, it was yesterday. Two of them. Two things I saw that caught me, that brought me back child and be like, oh, that's cool.
Okay. What?
Was first off is that Ferrari 550 GTC that we saw, that race edition with the big wing, lots of aero onto it. It's like an early 2000s, late 90s Ferrari front engine V12. It was outside by the drift pad. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Okay. And then the second thing that really took me back and happened today, and I was like, oh, this brings me back, was Pimp My Ride and Nemesis.
All right. Yeah. Cool. Bring it
Yes.
up. I want Chad to answer that question before we bring up Nemesis.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Anything for you like that? Stuff that you're not really usually into, but was like impressed by it.
You know, I give Ford and everybody else a bad name, but you know, I've got Mustangs and I've got everything else out there that's just part of the gig. But I don't know that there was anything that didn't take me back. I mean, in Hot Rod Alley at least.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
because there's a tie to everything, and I think that's what was so cool about being here is just immediately I'm sidetracked of wondering and thinking, and I want to talk to you about this car, and I want to talk to you about this, and how'd you get there? There really wasn't anything that didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, other than the new Toyotas and everything else
Yeah.
out of the new realm, but yeah, everything got me rolling.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Like, I'm not super into the JDM stuff, but every one that I saw today was so good.
Oh, it was
like,
so
you
good.
really have to appreciate what it takes to put that together and how much it takes to build a car like that. Not just in the dreamscape of thinking of it, you know, but actually physically putting it all together and from concept to build. It's like, it's pretty impressive, really. So that was kind of that for me. I know, Jeremy, you weren't there long, but did you come up with anything that, like, not yet?
No, I was trying to, like,
Yeah.
a couple of the R32s, the Skylines, You know, I saw those. Kind of took me back to Fast and the Furious.
Oh yeah.
But really, like you said, I wasn't really there long enough.
Yeah.
There was a couple Jeeps outside
Oh, cool.
that I really dug, but it wasn't because it brought me back to something. It was because of what they added. So one of them was a Gladiator that they removed the bed of and put a whole, I don't know, overlander system on it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I imagine you'll dig into that stuff more tomorrow and that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, we're going to that building.
Going
for sure
off road.
tomorrow.
Oh, it's fact.
All right, Nemesis.
Nemesis.
They're actually called Tryon.
That is true.
Yes.
The car
Nemesis
is called
is the
Nemesis.
model.
The
Yep.
car.
Yep. So let's talk about Tryon.
Okay.
We stumbled upon these guys that are building their own car, their own supercar,
Yeah.
from ground up.
Did you see the specs on it?
Had quite a long conversation. No, just what we talked about with them. I didn't
I saw.
physically see it.
saw
Did you?
I saw some of the specs.
Yeah.
Twin
Okay.
turbo,
Bring it.
9-liter V8,
It was
1,000
a
plus
cus-
horsepower.
It was a blueprint motor too, like
Yeah.
actual like.
No, Blueprint was who was talking to them about making more of them.
Okay.
No, but that's not who has the
Okay.
motor in the car right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just I don't know who sourced it or built it, but it's a 9-liter V8.
I think it said 0 to 60 was 2.6 seconds, and
It's ridiculous.
And they estimated top speed of 270 miles an hour.
So they're going after elite supercars.
Yeah, I know, and it will be. I mean, based on their price point, I mean, they're talking about $1.6 million for this gas car.
Right.
But Dodson Quinn, who was on Pimp My Ride, is like the main dude doing mechanical and stuff with it. He's not the engineer. He's not the sole owner, but he knows his stuff.
Yeah. No, we had a really long conversation
did,
with him
and
and
the
asked him all kinds of
The
questions that
ideas they're doing
I
with
didn't
it
take
are
any
sweet.
notes, so that kind of sucked. But he does want to come on the show as well and talk about the car and that kind of. And
Yeah.
happy to have him.
Yeah, and
Love
that's
to talk
gonna
to
be
him.
that's gonna be a cool episode.
Oddly enough, they're doing an electric version, which is going to be somehow cheaper
It's gonna be
than the
an,
gas.
it's gonna be an electric version, but not a skateboard design. That was one thing they were touting.
Yes, that is one of their big things for the electric cars. They want removable, replaceable batteries. So basically, your batteries die out. You've got a charging system. You pull out your batteries, and it was what do you call it? Because you could add batteries.
Modules.
Modular. So you could have two batteries in and run around town on that, or you could put all 8 in
And they were really
to have extended range.
they were really adamant that they weren't lithium ion. They were liquid poly.
Yep,
Yeah.
safer.
Yep.
So the modular battery system is kind of cool if they
Yeah.
can actually make that work out, because you could have a 6-pack charging at home, throw 2 in the car to run your errands, come home and throw them back on the charger while you've got the rest of them that are already ready to go. It's kind of neat.
They did say the biggest thing
Great idea.
Yeah.
the biggest thing that they were very, very excited about and that they were touting is the wireless charging system though for it though.
Yeah.
That within the car being within 25 feet of a station, presumably, but I think it was 25, it might be 15, that the car can charge itself at a distance, and or I believe they said they could charge other cars, right?
That's something they are
claimed.
working on.
They were working on it. Yeah.
What? No
Yes.
way.
What? No way.
Okay, the only way to do that is induction charging,
Correct.
Yeah.
and nobody has an induction charger yet
And that's
for a car.
Look,
Yeah.
look, we're not saying what they're saying is true or not.
No, these are concepts that they're working on.
yeah.
That would be epic if they started
Absolutely.
putting them in.
100%. Yeah. So if they can actually make that work, holy
They're,
shit.
they're
Game
talking
changer.
about at least trying to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know,
That
that's
sound amazing.
Oh yeah.
yeah, absolutely. That's where innovation comes from, is crazy idea. Hey, here's a crazy idea. Let's build an
World is
induction
round.
charger for the thing.
That would be a game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so is the modular
modular
system.
battery pack.
Because
Yeah.
when this
They're
whole
small.
shit show
They
started
had-
way
they
back in the
had them-
day,
they had them. They had them there.
They did have 'em
had
there.
them there.
Yeah.
They're about, I want to say, 10 inches tall by 4 by or 5 by 5.
yes,
Really?
not like
So
that.
they're like a. It
Oh,
looked like a. It looked like a molar tooth.
Right.
Looked
Yeah.
like a molar tooth
kinda
that
cool.
sat in the socket, and
Yep.
you know, and they said 6 to 8 of them based on model, which is nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause they're so small and
They are.
light compared to a Tesla battery, which is a
Yeah.
pack.
That kind of blew me
They
away too.
said that's what they needed if you wanted to do the plug-in hybrid, like run it just on pure electric. But if you wanted to run it just as a, hybrid, you only needed 2. And it said that if you want to do it for weight reduction, like if you're racing applications and stuff, I believe.
I don't know. We were all talking to different
We need
people.
to talk
Yeah.
to them more about it, but bottom line is it's a fascinating idea. The car was
It's
shocking.
gorgeous.
Yes,
It was
absolutely beautiful.
stunning.
Yeah.
And it was just the model. Mm-hmm. And they said at F1 here in 2 weeks they're going to have they're going to drive it in, open the doors.
The prototype.
They're
Yeah.
going to show people the actual vehicle in
For-
2 weeks.
For the other version, they said because we talked
For
about
the gas or
gas
the
one,
electric.
but the electric one they're coming out with, and I talked to one of the guys. It is going to be a 4-seater.
Yeah, I
electric.
thought that was interesting
yeah.
too because it's
Didn't shock me though because
a really sleek car.
doors.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Which were
Doors
huge.
were massive.
they're
Yeah.
big doors. But yeah, I mean, they've got some great ideas.
Yeah.
If they can execute on 50% of them, they'll have a great concept.
Yeah.
So, pretty neat. I think that's
Bunch
something to
of
look forward
active
to.
aero too.
Speaking
Tons.
of interesting
Active
concept, should we talk about coffee?
Okay.
What?
So Grant's got a thing.
Yeah.
Grant's got a thing. He
I'm leaving.
Yeah, whatever. You don't have to. But besides this, there's only one other topic I want to touch on.
Okay.
So don't drag it out. But we had to drag Grant over to the tool section today just so he could hit up Makita people,
No, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee people.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, the red guys, not the green guys.
Yes.
Um,
Are they blue?
Jesus
Just
Christ.
go. Tell them what you did.
You need to really stop that shit.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Tell them what you did. Tell them who you talked to.
So I went there and I went to their booth and tried looking around. I said, who do I got to talk to that's head of project management or for the engineering department? And the guy at first try, he's like, oh, I'm the guy you want to talk to. He's like, what do you need? And I'm like, I've been thinking about this for months. Why do you guys not build a coffee maker? A battery powered coffee maker. And the guy is like, just standing there. He's pondering. He said he's opens his mouth, stops open, trying to think words really carefully is what it seemed like. He's like, we did try that. Years ago, we looked into that. And the thing we found was that just battery technology back then couldn't do it.
It wasn't there.
And I'm like, yeah, but you guys rock the M18. That thing is touted for power.
Yep.
And that's what you guys, I mean, you can't do that now. He's like, yeah, you're right. It's actually, he's like, well, why would you want one though? I mean, if we did that. And I said, why would I want one? You're telling me if I got a pack out box and have a coffee maker there and slam a battery into it, I'm always going to have a water bottle on job site, just a pack of 24 for me and my guys, throw one in there, grab a K-cup because it doesn't take much room on the job site, put in coffee right there. Yep. Next guy behind me could do the same thing. And we do it fresh and hot right then. And then the fact is, if it goes out, throw another battery in because we're going to have multiple on the job site.
Yep.
And he's like, that's really interesting. And I go, yeah, the biggest thing is when we had, what inspired that was from racing. He goes, what do you mean? Well, because when we're racing, I've got to figure out how I'm going to get my coffee in the morning. And normally got to start up a generator for that. And then I'm doing that. He's like, so that's what you go? No. The other thing I got to do, if I don't do that, is I got to drive 10 minutes to the coffee shop. And if I'm awake and dressed enough to go to a coffee shop, why would I want coffee then? I want to wake up, start up thing, and that's the first thing I'm going to do.
Yep.
And he's like, that's a really, really good idea. That's a really good, argument. He's like, you know what? I think we need to bring this back up. I'm going to bring this back up our team. We're going to look in this. You made some solid points on that. So I'm pretty excited. If they fall through with that, I'm going to be excited if we get a coffee maker.
I'm actually amazed at the response that you got.
Yeah.
That they didn't just laugh you out of the booth.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good job.
And on top of that, we also made contact, and he said he wanted to come on our podcast and talk about different, products that develop.
Yeah.
You say, if you don't do it, I'm going over to Ryobi.
Yeah.
They're going to do it.
They're going to do it.
That was the other argument I said. I said, Makita's done it.
Yeah.
And their batteries aren't as good as Milwaukee's. Why, and that was, he's like, yeah, you're right on that one.
Yeah.
You know.
Dude, it could double as the charging station.
Yeah.
It could. I mean, they've got combo stuff all over. You know, your combo radio charging station, this and that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's pretty valid.
Yeah.
I would actually get one for my race trailer.
I would too. I think it would be a good selling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do too. Pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. All right. Ian will come back mid topic, but this is the last thing I wanted to ask you guys about. Since the hall that we were in is the mod, the hot rod stuff, you know, all the cool parts for your vehicles. I figure by the time you make it to that center, you know, you've made it. That's all the parts that people want, right? You've got the dashboards, you've got the suspension, you've got the brakes, you've got all the cool things. Mm-hmm. Out of all that stuff, is there anything that caught your eye that's like, that is really cool? That is something I could use.
Yes. Like products right away.
Products that you could use, because we're all project car guys.
Yeah.
Like, what in there can you use?
First thing come mind?
Yeah.
Extended size fuel tank.
Yes.
For an F-250.
Yes.
We had a long discussion.
We did.
With the booth, and they actually won a product for their class in the breakfast.
They did, yeah.
And they were talking about how like they've got a fit-in for the 2017 and up trucks for F-250s.
Yeah, it was older than that.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. For short beds, up to 60 gallons.
Yep.
Right off the bat. You know, they said increase
a
your range to like
game changer.
1,500 miles or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, and they said that I believe they said the fuel gauge as well as the how long till empty is accurate up until 2022.
2022, no, you have to have it reprogrammed, but they can do it.
Yeah.
From, I think it was 2006 maybe is the year of truck. So they
Yeah.
can, 2006 to current, they have these tanks. So from 06 to 2022, you can reprogram so it recognizes everything, gives you accurate fuel readings, miles to empty, all that stuff. Past that, they don't have, they haven't jailbroken those computers
Yeah.
yet.
But it was nice because it was a direct fit.
Yep.
You know, it made the biggest thing was that we were talking about like it's nice to have that range because if you're going to an unknown area and you're not sure if you've got to stop for fuel and you don't know what that parking lot is going to look like where you're towing 60 feet behind you,
Right.
if you're not, you know, if you know you can make it there and back home or at least to where you know your spots are, that's game changing.
No, it's awesome. And the tanks were not that expensive.
That was the big thing.
$1,500.
Yeah.
How big is your tank now?
Mine, I don't know. I routinely put 24 gallons in my tank, so it's probably 26, 28. I don't know what the numbers are that they have.
Most are 25 on a modern truck.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I think I've got the biggest one. I think at 33 or 34 gallons in mine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
I would guess mine at 25 because I
Yep.
routinely
That's
put 20 to 22.
Got to be what mine is then, yeah.
Yeah. But that's just huge, changing it.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, 60 gallons on board.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. Agreed. Who's next? Who's got it?
Ooh. There were tons of different styles of lifts.
Okay.
That's true.
There were, and actually one booth had not just lifts, but frame straighteners, wheel aligners, all that
nice.
stuff. And
Yep.
the two-post lifts, and I think the ones that slide under and lift the vehicles up, I really think those are game changers for
a project car?
Project car guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, there was a lot of those. I noticed that in the tool hall. Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I would say I'm at tools too. There's not much on my chassis that was innovative. I'm, 20-year-old chassis at this point, but the Mohawk lift where you can put both ends. It's a two-piece lift. You can put it on front to back. You can put it on side to side.
That was cool.
That was an incredible innovation. Basically, a pallet jack, two of them, and you can lift your car any which way you need.
Yeah. Yeah,
depending
you
on
could
the layout.
literally move the lift
garage.
around with a pallet jack. I mean, it was built in. That was really cool.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Where
so
was
far.
that at?
That's over in the tool hall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be making another trip through there.
Tomorrow I want to spend a lot more time there.
Yeah,
It's the South Hall upstairs.
upstairs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you? What did you see that was like, I could use that on my truck?
There's a lot.
A lot. Yeah.
I spent quite a bit of time over with Precision with their weather stripping and all that, talking
Okay.
with them on stuff. We use that for quite a bit of stuff. Talked to I Did It.
Yeah.
Their steering columns. Use those a lot. Talked to Distinctive Industries a lot
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
So little bummer. The old
Bluey didn't make
old
it.
Bluey didn't make it. The
Yeah.
Distinctive Industry Parts Runner didn't make it. Wasn't their fault. They just hit a snag where some of the seat inlays were supposed to have been ordered. They ordered them, but they didn't get shipped.
Oh, that's a bummer.
So it is what it is on that. But, I got to see a lot of their seats in person, their new CTX seat, and then they have their own version of the Buddy Buckets out there, which they did have those there, and some console seats for Blazers and 69 to 72. So getting to talk with their company and Dean Satterfield there.
Yep.
I think we can partner up and try several things. I got
that's
a
great.
lot of content to go through and test out old buddies with new buddies and stuff like that. And just seeing how they've evolved them to be so much more comfortable and functional out of that too.
Yeah.
So just there was a lot of stuff. I mean, I was surprised how much stuff would apply to me there, but without Distinctive and Michael Satterfield and all that, I wouldn't be sitting here at SEMA either. So I am disappointed the truck didn't make it, but without them buying the truck, I wouldn't be sitting here with you guys either. So
You'll be sitting with us or the orange cone.
yeah, that's right.
That's right. That's right. No, I agree. Their booth was really cool. I enjoyed seeing the seats, and just like their quality of stuff is really on point. I love a quilted seat, and like they've got really nice ones there. Like in that light tan, man, it just pops. That's good looking stuff. Mm-hmm. And I enjoy those guys too. Like they're good to talk to. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I found anyone today. I mean, got to meet Wayne Creaney and Kevin Tates and a lot of different guys today, and everybody was just cool. I mean, from the opening breakfast to everybody was on the same level. I mean, every once in a while there's somebody too big for you, but I'd say 95% of everyone I talked to today, they're just on the level playing field out here today. So I thought that was really cool, and I'm kind of excited to go see the first timers too. At SEMA too to see what they look like, and we're first timers to observe. So
Absolutely.
I think that's a pretty cool area.
Yeah. For me, something that really stuck out, and there was a lot of different booths that had it, was instrument gauges. Everything from retro digital to full digital, and how that they can just basically bolt right in, right into place. Because I'm thinking of my 67 and maybe even something from my 73 Corvette. All that stuff, brand new, nice bright lights and digital actuation on a lot of it. And I just thought that stuff is really cool. There's so much innovation there, and it's kind of plug and play. So I thought that was really cool. That's something that I could really get into because I'm going to need it. And I just thought looking at that stuff was pretty awesome. And there's so many different companies putting it out there. It would be really hard to make a choice. It's like, okay, what do you go with? What offsets this guy from that guy? Is it those guys are plug in easier? What's the support like? I don't know. Something you have to look into when you go to buy it. But I thought that was pretty awesome.
I think like Vintage Air too, their Gen 5 stuff for the trucks.
Yeah.
I mean, just the control head now. There's nothing behind it. There's no cables. There's no nothing. You still got
crazy.
You still got the rods on the front end, but it's completely flat in the back. So you got all that open dash behind you.
Yeah.
That's pretty killer.
That's really neat.
awesome.
Yeah, all digital controls. Yep, but it looks stock, looks retro. And they had the retro radios as well.
Yeah.
It looks like your push button AM FM in there, but you've got actually good sound out of it. That's pretty neat. A lot of stuff for the project car guy.
Yeah.
So question on that.
Okay.
For the next generation, younger than us.
Yep.
Do they care?
No.
Yeah.
No.
They don't. They want to upgrade. They want the digital screen.
Yep. We want the screens. We want all the stuff, and that's what I'm a little afraid of.
Yep.
Hey, as long as we keep people interested.
If kids grow up with
I'm
iPads,
okay with
they're going to want it every day.
I'm okay with that. It's great if there are ways that they can put that together where it looks nice and clean and integrated instead of looking like a sore thumb and it's afterthought.
Yep.
I think that's even better, but they're not so much interested in the retro styling of that. That's for the old guys.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of like a small block to an LS too.
Yep.
So,
That's true.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
The purist.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So I wanted to touch on two things really, really quick.
Okay.
No.
Yes. I wanted to say, first off to reviewers, I don't know if we mentioned this at the beginning of the episode. Even though we spent about 8 or 10 hours at SEMA this morning,
Yep.
we only made it through on one building
Yep.
75% of the way through.
Yep.
You know, while we're going through it. Was it as big as you guys thought or bigger? What was your guys' thought?
It's as big as I thought.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sure.
it's way bigger than I thought it was.
Really?
Oh yeah. When I showed up, I'm like, okay. I looked at the layout
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, oh fuck, that's a big layout. When I had to go to the Venetian and there was a whole show there
Yep.
before I even got to
The convention center.
convention center, and then I got to the convention center and it was like, okay, there's outdoor here, indoor, upstairs, outdoor. Holy fuck, there's a whole nother building.
Yeah.
I didn't even see that building on the
On
show
the map.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're a first or second year here, you need to be here Monday. Get here earlier
Yep.
Monday as
Figure
they're
it out.
setting up.
Yep.
Pick up your stuff, and you need to stay all the way through Friday if you want to
100%.
see it all.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I kind of agree with that. I think the only reason I kind of knew the scale is because I've spent a fair amount of time in Vegas, and everything here is
yeah, yeah.
freaking
Yep.
huge. Everything is huge. Scale is not even a thing. You look out across the town, and you're like, oh, that's not that far. Dude, that's going to take you an hour to walk down there.
Yeah. 100%.
Because everything is so big.
Oh yeah, I know. I walked it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know you did. Yep.
Choice.
I do not recommend.
my choice.
That leads me on to the last second thing I'm going
Okay.
to say, okay? Is how is your guys' feet after today? Because mine are killing
I
me.
feel
I-
better
well-
today than I did yesterday.
I'm walking back to my hotel. That's probably a 25-minute walk, and I can tell you right now, I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah.
You need one of those power carts.
I know.
Yeah.
I might
Okay.
get halfway and call an Uber.
You might. You might. I could see it happening.
Well, the monorail was a big
MVP.
fail on the way back.
Yeah.
I waited in line an hour and a half outside of the convention center before I could actually get on it. So,
That many thousands of people.
but you
trying to get
think,
it
yeah,
at
how
once.
many thousands of people are leaving all at once?
Yeah.
too,
That's
Well, you
so.
got to leave it.
We left early.
Got to leave it like an hour and a half early.
I left like 45 minutes late. I think they were like, dude, are you going to leave the building so we can leave? But I was hoping the crowd would leave
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
be flushed out of there, but I was wrong.
Space.
Yeah. Kind of weird. That's it, guys. Unless you got something else,
Oh,
we'll,
I always do, but then
we'll wrap this up. Yeah, hang on just a second. Okay, there we go.
What was that? I thought I heard a bee.
Something in the background. I don't know. Yeah, thanks everybody for listening. We'll do another update here one of these days. Not sure we'll get it tomorrow, but maybe the next day. And
We might get it tomorrow.
And they won't know because this is pre-recorded anyway. So anyway,
Oh, well,
for
is it pre-recorded?
or is it
Second time?
Is it? it's ouch! Totally deserve that.
I've done it a million times, or I don't plug the mic in and I'm just no audio.
Yeah.
that's for our Patreons later on.
There
for
you
the
go.
Bonus content.
Bonus content. Yeah, it's all on video. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening. Take care.